And good Tuesday morning, everybody. Thanks very much for joining us this morning. I'm Maria Bartiromo, and it is Tuesday, May 30th. It is 7 a.m. on the East Coast. President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy striking an agreement over the weekend to raise the debt ceiling while capping and cutting some spending in the coming years. The House is expected to vote on this bill tomorrow, both just under the wire on Janet Yellen's new default deadline of June 5th, the House and the Senate. Here's Joe Biden yesterday. Watch.
I never say I'm confident what the Congress is going to do, but I feel very good about it. I've spoken to a number of the members. There is no reason why it shouldn't get done by the 5th. I'm confident that we'll get a vote in both houses, and we'll see.
Joining me right now is South Carolina Congressman Russell Fry. He's a member of the Oversight and Judiciary Committees and GOP freshman class president. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here.
Good to see you, Maria. It's always a pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you. Do you think this bill passes?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is the first day when we return today. This is the first day of our offices being open, fielding constituent calls since the beginning of this text being dropped over the weekend. I don't know what the numbers are. I think there are a lot of members who are listening to their constituents, continuing to evaluate the pros and cons of this deal. So we'll see.
Well, let's talk about the pros and cons, because obviously Kevin McCarthy was incredibly successful in rallying up support to actually get this president to announce that he will accept spending cuts. He will accept caps on spending, holding spending flat for 2024, caps of increases of 1% for 2025. But there are plenty of Republicans out there who say it's not secure to see where defense spending is. Morgan Ortagus is out saying that the debt ceiling agreement codifies Biden's incredibly dangerous defense budget. Taking Biden's historic inflation into account, it would shrink our military by 6% in real terms over the next 2 years. She says that's unpalatable. Lindsey Graham also complaining about defense spending. And then there are others who are complaining about the IRS and the fact that we're still going to see Biden get to hire IRS agents who are going to audit Americans. So where are you on this deal?
Well, me personally, like I said, I'm waiting on my constituents to call this morning. We're going to listen to them. I think that's really important. That's part of the exercise of what we do. We're continuing to evaluate things. I think you just hit the nail on the head as far as where this thing goes. Does it go far enough? There are a lot of people who are concerned with raising the debt limit for a finite period of time for $4 trillion and compared to the spending cut. So there's really a lot of arguments that I've heard. You know, I've watched the Twitterverse, I've watched, the Sunday talk shows about what people are saying, really trying to do my homework. Some people are concerned about the military. You have some that, quite frankly, are concerned, maybe that the work requirements aren't strong enough. So there's really a lot of people out there who are saying different things based on their districts. So I'm curious to see if they do have the votes to do this. I think McCarthy should be praised in one, because Biden was never going to negotiate with House Republicans. He said he wanted a clean debt ceiling. That obviously isn't going to happen. Biden also wanted a tax increase. That isn't going to happen. And the plan does offer spending cuts. But the question a lot of colleagues in my mind is, does it go far enough to what we had in Limit, Save, Grow?
Yeah, I mean, Lindsey Graham is vowing to undo what he's calling the absurd bipartisan debt deal, calling it a disaster for defense. He says he's willing to raise the debt limit for 90 days to give us a chance to correct the disaster for defense. Would you be willing to vote no, but then vote yes for a 90-day? I mean, then you're going to have to deal with this in 90 days.
Yeah, all over again. I haven't seen that plan. I haven't heard the senator's comments on that, but certainly am happy to look into those. I think the big concern that I have is, does this go far enough? I mean, we were sent to Washington in November to rein in out of control spending, and we really need to get our fiscal house in order. I'm not sure that this does it to the extent that I want it to.
Today is the deadline for the FBI Director Christopher Wray to turn over that document. Republicans say that document links President Biden to a $5 million bribery scheme with a foreign national. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer joined me on Sunday Morning Futures a few weeks ago explaining what he'll do if the FBI does not comply with that subpoena. Watch this.
we're going to end up in court. And I think we have a very compelling case in court to be able to win. It's just very frustrating and very disappointing that we're going to have to spend taxpayer dollars in court to get information that we shouldn't have any trouble in the world getting from our government.
What are your thoughts, Congressman? In a letter on Wednesday, Comer writes this to Christopher Wray. Your response to the subpoena is due May 30th. If the form is not produced by that day, the committee will initiate contempt of Congress proceedings. Wray and Comer are set to speak by phone tomorrow, but the chairman says that phone call will not impact the deadline, which is today, Congressman.
I think Chairman Comer is doing an excellent job navigating this. Look, at the end of the day, the FBI needs to do its job. There was a lawful subpoena that was issued. They came back and said, well, your search term was too broad. I think everybody in the world knows exactly what we're talking about. I think the FBI knows exactly what we're talking about. It's time to produce the document. And look, if you won't, there are penalties for that, contempt being one of them. So the chairman's done an excellent job of holding the FBI's feet to the fire, and I intended to support him in every which way I can on that. We're Congress for a reason. The people elected us for a reason. They didn't elect the FBI. They elected us to represent them and their interests. The American people deserve some transparency here. They deserve to see what is in that document. It's obviously not classified, so produce the document.
Yeah, but I mean, look, obviously they've been stonewalling Congress for years, and they're doing it again. What could he possibly want to say to Comer in a phone call tomorrow?
I have no idea, but what I do know is this is just like a court proceeding. If you don't produce evidence, if you don't produce discovery, there are sanctions for that conduct. And so I think Chairman Comer is preserving all options, and I think he's done a good job of trying to force their hand. But at the end of the day, if they won't produce this document, there are penalties for that.
Okay, we'll be watching, Congressman. Thanks very much. Russell Fry joining us this morning.